the challenge of the Yukon. It's King, swiftest and strongest lead dog of the North Country, blazing the trail for Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police in his relentless pursuit of lawbreakers. Gold discovered in the Yukon, a stampede to the Klondike and the greedy race for riches. Now back to the days of the gold rush, when Sergeant Preston and his wonder dog King battled through storm and snow to preserve law and order as they met the challenge of the Yukon. It was almost midnight when Jeff Moore returned to his small cabin near the outskirts of Moose Crossing. As he entered, a big gray dog was there to greet him. The dog had the slanting eyes of a wolf, and many of his characteristics were more like a wolf than a dog. His loyalty to Jed, however, proclaimed his dog heritage. Jed was Lobo's god, and no other man could touch him.
Well, Lobo, fella, you should have been with me tonight. What a night! We're rich, old boy. Look at the gold I won. Lady Luck was sitting right on my lap. 1, 2, 3 of them. It's a fortune, Lobo. What is it? That's right. Ain't that dog of yours up? I want to come in. Well, wait a minute. Lobo's loose. I'll have him chained in a minute. Come on, Lobo. That's your corner, boy. You can't take a chance on you taking Mike's hand off. I took all his money away from him at poker, and that's enough for one night. There you are. Hurry up. It's cold out here. Well, I'm coming. I thought you went straight home from the Silver Slip.
Sure that wolf dog is tied up good?
Sure, I chained him before I let you in. Down, Lobo. Down.
Is that gold there on the table your winners tonight?
It sure is. I did right well.
Yeah. Part of that gold is mine.
You mean it was yours, Mike. But I won it fair and square. The trouble with you is you drink too much when you play poker. Drinking and gambling don't mix well. You need a clear head.
I want my money back, Jeff. I need it. A friend of mine came into town today. He thinks he's got some pagers and wants me to go in with him. We'll need supplies.
Well, you should have thought of that sooner, Mike. Why'd you gamble if you needed the money?
Because I needed more than I had.
Well, then I don't see how it would help you if I gave you back what you lost.
Now, look, give me another chance. I got a deck of cards here and some money that I borrowed from this friend of mine.
Oh, Mike, it's late.
Oh, so you won't give me another chance?
Oh, well, all right. Come on, sit down. Turn the lantern up a little so as we can see.
God, look at the bags of gold. I didn't realize you won so much tonight.
You weren't the only loser. There were lots of people in that game, and the stakes were high.
There must be pretty near 15,000 here.
Closer to 10, I think. Well, go ahead and deal the cards. How much do you want to bet?
Well, let's start out with $50.
You ain't fooling, are you? Well, I'd like to cut those cards if you don't mind.
Sure. Here you are.
Hey, wait a minute. Mike, you should know better than this.
Huh? What's eating you?
I didn't win at poker tonight because of beginner's luck. I've been playing this game for over 30 years.
Well, what of it?
Don't you think by now I'd know a few of the tricks? Recognizing marked cards, for instance? Mike, you better take your cards and go on home. You weren't a little drunk, you know better than to try this on an old-timer like me. And whoever marked those cards didn't even do a clever job at it.
Why, you...
Get him, Mike.
I gotta have that money, and I'm taking it, I tell you.
Put down that chair! Stop!
I'll show you whether I get my money or not. Mine and a lot more. And you dirty wolf, I ought to put a bullet for you. What the...
Are you all right? What's going on in here?
Oh, Drake.
What's wrong with that dog?
Come on in, stuff it off. He can't hurt you, he's chained.
Where's Ted? What's wrong with him?
I hit him over the head with a chair. Then turned him.
What happened? Did the cards work?
I knew they were marked the minute he looked at him.
But why did you hit him?
I saw a chance to get more money this way. Now we can take it all. And any more that's sitting around here.
Right, you shouldn't have done. The reason I came over here is that after you left the Silver Slipper, a Mountie came in.
A Mountie?
Sergeant Preston and that big dog of his.
How did he have to get in so late?
This is part of the territory he patrols.
I know that.
You tell that home trail couldn't get here sooner. See, I heard him talking to someone about Jed, and I was afraid he'd come in here if he saw a light.
The police cabin ain't here.
I didn't know where it was. Anyway, we better leave fast. If Jed gets caught...
Wait a minute. He's dead.
Sure glad that dog came. What's wrong, Mike?
You don't have to worry about Pierre getting conscious. I must have hit him too hard. He's dead.
Dead?
You're right, Drake. We got to get out of here fast. Something with his money.
I don't want any part of this, Mike.
I'm leaving. You're going with me, Drake. You help me pick them marked cards. You're in it, too.
I don't want any part of a murder.
If you don't come, I know you'll squeal.
No, Mike. I won't.
Look at that gold here on the table. There must be as much hidden in here somewhere. We can take enough supplies right out of this cabin and get a good start tonight. Chances are they won't find Jed for a few days. That Mountie won't come here.
If he leaves town without finding out, we'd have a chance. He won't be back here for a couple of weeks.
We'll never have a chance like this again. Now, let's take this money and skip. We'll shut the cabin up, and people will think Jed's out working his claim.
We ought to shoot that dog.
No. Everybody knows how fierce he is. Nobody ever comes in this cabin if Jed ain't here to change him first. It'll keep people from finding Jed.
It looks good, Mike. I'm with you.
Fine. Now, come on now. We're going to look this cabin over and see if we can find the rest of Jed's money. He's got plenty.
It was almost morning, and Mike and Drake struggled through huge drifts that had been made by a strong wind and heavy snowfall through the night. Drake was exhausted.
I tell you, Mike, I can't go any farther. My legs, I can't lift them.
I'm tired, too. But this weather is the best luck we could have had.
Mark, are you crazy? Slow them down. These snowdrifts, we've only made about 10 miles.
But nobody can track it. These drifts, like walking in sand. The wind blows snow on our tracks right after we make them. There won't be any tracks near Jed's cabin.
I can't go any farther.
Hey, there's a cabin out there off the trail now.
Think we better risk it?
There's no smoke coming from the chimney. Maybe nobody phoned.
Yeah.
Now listen. Better if nobody knows we're together. You hide behind those trees. I'll go alone and see if anybody's there. If there is, you wait a while. Then come in and say you came from the other direction. They don't know each other, see?
All right. I'll wait here. Anybody here?
Nobody here.
Blake! Oh, Blake! Yeah? Come on, it's all right. Nobody's here. We'll hold in here for a few hours and get some sleep.
It was late the following morning when Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police started to leave Moose Crossing to complete his patrol back to Dawson. Jules Leclerc, a French-Canadian trapper, accompanied him. The trail was thick with the heavy snowfall of the night before, and Jules and the Mounties broke the trail ahead of the door. King, Sergeant Preston's big lead dog, was hitched at the head of the team to lend his strength to the straining animals.
He's lucky I can go with you, Sergeant. To carry pack in snow like this, oh, it will be bad.
Always glad to have company, Jules. Maybe we won't get very far today, though. These drifts are bad. Quite a snowstorm we had last night. Jules, is that a dog howling? Listen. Sounds like it's coming from that cabin just off the trail there.
That's Lobo. He's dead moored dog. Dead, we keep him in the cabin. That dog, she's mostly wolf.
Jed Moore. I hadn't seen old Jed in a long time. When I got to the Silver Slipper last night, they said he really cleaned up at Polka.
Oui. Last night he was very lucky.
Wonder why that dog's howling so.
Maybe he not like to be in a cabin alone.
But he can't be alone. Look, there's a big snowdrift against the door. Jed shouldn't have left the cabin. Maybe something's wrong with Jed.
Wait, if you are smart, Sergeant, you will not go in the cabin with Lobo loose. Jed will chain him first when someone comes. That dog will tear you in little pieces.
Going to knock on the door anyway. See if everything's all right.
Okay, maybe Jed did not go home last night.
Won't do any harm to find out. Wait here, Jones.
Be careful, Sergeant. That dog is very bad.
I'm not afraid of him. Dad? Dad, you home? Dad, Dad, you what? Dad, Dad. He's dead.
Sergeant, he's dead here? He's
Lobo's saying, Jones. Please to come in.
Dead. Something has happened to him.
He's dead.
Dead? That is why Lobo howled.
Somebody killed him. He's hit over the head with that chair.
Look, his cabin. Everyone seen a fish?
Yes, it's been searched. They were probably looking for Jed's money.
He had larceny last night after that poker game.
Oh, this is odd.
What you see?
Jed must have been playing cards. Look, right there near his hand. 3 cards.
No, don't try to get them, Sergeant. They are too near Lobo. He will take your hand off.
That's why the killer couldn't get them. Picked up the rest of it, I could see.
You think maybe them cards, they belong to the man who killed Jed?
Yes. I have to get those cards.
Sergeant, don't go near that dog.
They won't hurt me. No, they're not afraid of him. Get back, Lobo.
Hi, Sergeant. Hey, that dog, he mind you.
Here are the cards.
Them cards, they are phony color.
Have you ever played with these cards, Jules?
Me? I don't gamble.
Well, the only clue we have. No covered any trail the man might have made, but I think he left town.
Why you think that, Sergeant?
Well, look at those empty shelves. Whoever did this took all the supplies Dad had, as well as his gold. Jules, I think you're going to have to go on to Dawson alone after all. I'm going back to town and see if I can find anyone who recognizes these playing cards. They're not like the kind they used the Silver Slipper.
Oh, Sergeant, them sure I have. They can wait for trade. Jed is good friend. Me, I stay and maybe help you, eh?
Suit yourself, Jules. You know this country around here very well. I'd like to have you with me. Oh, you better get Jed's body over on that cart, and I'll go back to town and see if I can pick up any information.
In the meantime, Mike and Drake, exhausted from their trip through the snow the night before, slept in the trapper's cabin. Mike awoke as he heard a dog team outside the cabin. Drake, wake up.
What?
Wake up. The trapper owns his cabin at home. Are you awake?
Yeah, I'm awake now.
Now listen to me. We don't know each other, you and me, I mean. We came in here last night at different times and haven't seen each other before.
Yeah, that's what we planned to do.
We're going in opposite directions when we leave. Now, you leave before I do and go toward Moose Crossing. Make a circle and wait for me at the next bend in the trail. You know what I mean?
Sure, I know.
If we're followed, it'll help to have them think that they're after one man instead of 2. It's better if nobody connects us. We'd be too easy to identify then.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Now, here he comes. We better be safe.
Yeah. Well, howdy.
Good morning. Hope you don't mind me using your cabin last night.
Yeah, out of bed. That's what it's for. Fact is, I'm mighty glad to find the fire going. Your partner?
No. I was just about asleep when he came in. Storm caught him just the way it did me. He was coming from the other direction.
Well, I suppose you want to turn in, don't you?
Well, not right yet. I'll get this pot off, and I'll have a cup of hot tea first. Yeah, I'll get the fire stirred up in the door.
Did I hear somebody say tea?
You sure did. We talked too loud.
I'm glad you did. I got to get to Moose Crossing.
Yeah. That fire will be going full blast in a minute.
Hey, it is cold in here. Will you hand me my pot, mister? Sit on a chair beside the stove.
This one?
Yeah.
Sure. There you are. Now, look what I did. Picked it up wrong and stirred your playing cards out of the pocket.
Oh, I'll pick them up.
Here, let me help you.
They aren't any good anyway. It isn't a full day. Guess I better be getting on the way. Full day's trip from Moose Crossing.
I'll fix some tea right away. Here you are.
Thanks. I can use them to start campfires. I hope this snow stops pretty soon. Just blow the man down.
Sergeant Preston left Jules at Jed's cabin and went back to the Silver Slipper Cafe. Only a few men were in the place, and Barney, the bartender, looked up in surprise as the Mountie entered.
Sergeant, I thought you said you were putting out early this morning.
I intended to, but there's some information I want first, Barney. Have you ever seen anyone playing poker here with cards like these?
No. Ain't like the cards we have here at the Silver Slipper. We furnish all the playing cards here every night. We don't let people play with their own decks. Too much chance of trouble.
I see.
There's Jim Riley over there, though. He could probably tell you something about it. He'd rather play poker than me.
Oh?
Here. Hey, Riley. Over there. Well, hello, Sergeant.
How are you, Riley?
Hey, Riley. You play cards with just about everybody in Moose Crossing. Did you ever see these before? His color's kind of different.
Yeah, let's see it. Yeah, I'll say I did. Almost lost my shirt that night. I remember him because I said maybe this was my unlucky color.
Who shirts were they?
They belonged to Mike Ellis. I played at his cabin last week.
You're a friend of Mike?
I know him pretty well. I stopped at his cabin this morning to get back some snowshoes he borrowed. He wasn't there.
Uh-huh. What's Mike look like?
Well, he looks like everybody else, I guess. He got a black beard that covers most of his face. He's not tall, he's not short. I don't know.
You remember anything more about him, Barney?
That's about as good as I could do, Sergeant. Wait a minute. I don't know if this would help, but I saw him show a tattoo mark to a man at the bar the other night.
Oh?
It was on his left forearm. I looked at it, too.
What did it look like?
Well, he's got a big snake tattooed around his halfway to the elbow.
Thanks, Barney. That'll help a lot.
Why do you want all this information, Sergeant? You can probably find Mike around here somewhere.
I'm going to look for him here, of course, but I don't think I'll find him in town. Ed Moore was murdered last night.
What's that, sir?
The owner of these cards was the one who murdered him. Sergeant Preston spent most of the day searching for Mike in the town, with no result. As he entered Jed's cabin, Jules was eagerly waiting.
You find out something, Sergeant?
These cards belong to Mike Ellis. He's the one we want.
Mike Ellis. I don't know him.
He didn't have a very good reputation. Made his living gambling with Mike's cards.
What we do now, Sergeant?
Well, Mike makes his living gambling, as I said. I doubt that he'd head for the wilderness. He's going to get to a big town, and that would mean he'd take the trail south.
This trail that goes past his cabin?
Yes. We'll try it anyway. That's all we can do.
What about his wolf dog? Is that him, too?
Yes, I'm taking Lobo. I'll hit him up with a team.
Be careful, Sergeant. I think maybe I wait outside. Or maybe right here by the door.
Don't worry, Jules. He'll be all right. Come on, Lobo, old boy. You're going with me.
Sergeant, it's better if you shoot him.
He'll get used to me. Right now, I'm going to muzzle him with a throw. That's better. Now I'll unleash you.
I think now I go outside.
Come on, Lobo. You're coming with me. Come on, Lobo. You're a tough old fellow, but I think we're going to be friends. As Sergeant Preston had anticipated, it was King that trained Lobo to pull in the traces with the rest of the team. The wolf dog was afraid of King, who was larger and stronger than he, and he was soon following him peacefully, as did the rest of the dogs. It was late the following day when the Mountie and Jules approached the cabin of the trapper, where Mike and Drake had taken refuge.
There is Sabin. You stop here?
Yes, I think we'd better. Hope we have more luck this time than we did at the other cabin. Mike must have traveled all night if he came this way.
Hunting! But if this man has not seen this Mike, you think maybe we better go back and start some other way?
Not yet, Jules. We'll keep on traveling. I'm almost sure he came in this direction. Good evening. I'm Sergeant Preston, Northwest Mounted Police.
Glad to see you, Sergeant. Come in. I'm Chief Morris.
And this is Jules Leclerc, Chief.
Hello. Yes, sit down. Make yourselves at home. You like some hot tea?
Why, we can't stay that long, thanks. I'm trying to find out if the man I'm after is taking this trail. Have you seen a man with a bushy black beard, about medium height?
Yes, Sergeant. I've seen 3 or 4 like that.
Yes, I know it's not a very good description.
Was he a trapper? I talked to a couple of them.
This man was, well, I guess he was just a gambler. He wouldn't know anything about tapping.
A gambler, you say? Oh, you cannot tell by looking at man if he plays cards. Yes, I guess he did have a black beard.
Oh.
Well, yesterday morning I came home early from my trap line. I would have got back the night before except for that bad snowstorm. When I came into my cabin, there were 2 men sleeping here.
2 men?
Yes. It turned out they weren't together, though. They left at different times and were going in opposite directions.
Ah.
One of them had a black beard, and he was the one who had the card.
Right.
It dropped out of the pocket of his parka. Would that mean he was a gambler, necessarily?
Could you remember what the cards looked like? Were they like this one?
I believe they were. I helped him pick them up. Yes, that was the color of them, all right.
Jules, we're on the right trail.
That was good, Sergeant. That is luck.
Thanks, Chief. You've helped a lot.
There's no planning on catching him. You better hurry. He had a long start. There's no way of following the trail either. The snow covered all the tracks. And anyway, a lot of people use this trail.
We'll get him. Don't worry. Come on, Jules. It was noon 2 days later when Mike and Drake approached the shore of Spring Lake. The snow fell steadily and Drake was limping.
My good calf here. My foot's giving out again. I can't go any farther.
I know what we'll do. You can't sit at the edge of the lake. You can rest for a while. I'll take the gun and go around the shore of the lake and try to get some rabbits or something.
When you come back here?
No. Look across the lake. You see that tall pine tree?
Yeah?
Well, give me about an hour. I'll go around the shore and do some hunting. You can cut straight across the lake and meet you there. I'll probably have supper with you by the time you get there. It's a safe time.
Is that lake safe to cross?
Oh, that's good, it is. The only reason I'm going around it is to try to get some game. Now, you build a fire here and rest for a while.
You better build it before you leave. I'm not any good at stuff like that.
You get some branches and build it yourself. Here, I'll give you some of these cards here in my pocket. I didn't burn them all. You can light a fire with them. I'll carry the gold and most of the pack. Take your time and come when you're rested.
The snow had stopped, and the setting sun, breaking through the clouds, threw long shadows on the trail as Sergeant Preston and Jules approached the shore of Spring Lake later that day.
You think maybe he might try cross Spring Lake?
He's lived around here too long to try that. Everybody knows about the Warm Springs in it. He wouldn't take a chance.
But Mike is not trapper. Maybe he don't know this.
He's talked to plenty of trappers and prospectors and moose crossing. He'd know all right.
Look, Sergeant. Someone is camped there. There is dead fire.
Have a look, Jules. Someone built a fire, all right.
And look. Track leads to the lake.
Wait a minute. Look at this, Jules. A half-burned playing card. He used it to start his fire. We can drive the cards in the same deck. Look at the color.
You're right. Mike is not here. But these tracks will lead toward the lake.
What a fool. You think he'd... Jules, look out there about 100 yards. Is that a hole in the ice?
And these tracks. They go right to it.
Come on, Jules. Going out there and see. Might be something safe. You stay here with the team, James. Stay here, boy.
These tracks are very clear.
He must have started when it stopped snowing about an hour ago. He must have known how treacherous this lake is.
Oh, there is no doubt. He go through a hole in the ice. Look, them tracks, they go right to it.
That's all right, John. All right, any tracks leading away from it. We can see them in the snow. I guess that's the end of my colors.
This time, the Mountie does not get his man.
Well, but he ended up the same. He'd have been hanged for murder if we'd caught him.
This maybe is better.
Well, we may as well go back. At least we know that Mike's one murderer. We'll never kill again. It was 2 months later. Sergeant Preston had been sent to the town of Selkirk, far south of Dawson City. The Mounties stood at the front window of Sandy McNeil's trading post, talking to Sandy as they looked out at Sergeant Preston's dog team.
That's a fine lot of dogs you got there, Sergeant. Of course, none of them can compare to King lying out there in front.
Never was a finer dog than King.
That second dog is a big fellow. He looks like a wolf.
Oh, that's Lobo. He has a lot of wolf in him.
Is he as vicious as he looks?
He used to be, but he isn't anymore, Sandy. I've worked with him a lot, and now he's one of the best dogs I have. The words were barely out of the Mountie's mouth when a man came toward the trading post. He passed close to the sergeant's dog team, and suddenly, without warning, Lobo sprang at him, knocking him to the ground and throwing the rest of the dog team into a snarling heap.
Hey, stop that dog and knock him!
Lobo! Lobo! Sergeant Preston and Sandy raced out of the store, but King was there before them. He leaped at Lobo, throwing him off the man, whose arm had been torn as he protected his foot. Back, Lobo! Keep him off, King! Up the chin, Sandy, till we get these dogs straightened out.
I'll help you up. Come into the store.
Lobo! Back, I said! What's wrong with you?
Get in the lane!
A few minutes later, Sergeant Preston, carrying his medical kit, entered the back room in Sandy's trading post, where Sandy had taken the man whom Lobo attacked. King had followed his master into the store and sat quietly beside the Mountie as he took bandages and antiseptics out of his kit.
I'll put your parka right over here, Joe.
Thanks.
I'm sorry my dog attacked, huh? Can't imagine why he did it.
I was just walking past. Not even looking at him.
Now, roll up your sleeves. There's left of it. That wound's bleeding.
You sure gave him a nasty bite. You'll have to play cards with one hand now, Joe. There's a customer. Call me if you need anything.
Please, sticking to your arm. There it is. What?
What's the matter?
Why, that tattoo mark, it startled me.
That snake's head points right at the tear in my arm. It does look ugly. I'm glad that bite is on my left arm instead of my right.
I'll have to watch Lobo after this.
Lobo? You mean that's the dog's name? The dog is written?
Yes, why? Does that name frighten you?
No, I'm kind of shaking, I guess.
Mike.
Yeah. My name's not Mike. It's Joe. But the idea of calling me Mike.
You'll answer to it without thinking. You're Mike Ellis.
What? What do you mean?
That explains why Lobo attacked you. You murdered his master, Jed Moore.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You shaved your beard off, but I think if I take you back to Moose Crossing, you'll be recognized. You're under arrest.
No, you don't. Pick up your hand.
All right, boy. Got his friend. Get up, Mike. You shouldn't have pulled the gun with my dog watching.
What's going on? Has King attacked him, too?
This man's a criminal, Sandy. He killed the man who once owned Lobo. You fooled me, Mike. I thought you were dead. But you didn't fool Lobo. He remembered your scent.
That doesn't prove anything. You never saw me before.
The only thing I knew about you was that you had a snake tattooed on your left arm. Lobo helped me find that, too.
But, Sergeant, why did you think he was dead?
Mike can explain that, I think. Who was it that went through the hole in the ice, Mike?
It was Drake, a friend of mine. He was the one who done the killing. It was him. He fell through the ice when we were crossing the lake.
That's enough, Mike. You didn't cross that lake. There was only one set of tracks. I warn you, anything you say will be used against you. You're under arrest for the murder of Jed Ellis. Yes, King. This case is closed. The Challenge of the Yukon, a copyrighted feature, is a George W. Trendle production, directed by Fred Floriday and written by Mildred Merrill. The part of Sergeant Preston was played by Paul Sutton. All names and incidents used are fictitious. Listen again next week to another exciting adventure during the days of the gold rush. Fred Ford speaking. This program came to you from Detroit. Saturday night show, not on your life if you keep company with ABC. We've a lineup of shows to keep you entertained from early in the evening until it's time to go out and get the Sunday morning papers. For Mystery a la Mode, Ross Dolan Detective is on hand Saturday night. And when Ross seeks to solve a crime, it means 30 minutes of solid action and suspense. Speaking of suspense, wait till you hear Famous Jury Trials, the stirring courtroom program that dramatizes typical American jury trials. Then there's Gangbusters, with true crime cases straight from police files all over the country. Murder in Mr. Malone is another tense mystery that's bound to keep you sitting on the edge of your chair as that famous criminal lawyer, John J. Malone, tackles a case of murder. For smashing thrills from early to late Saturday night, be sure to listen when these great shows are broadcast over most ABC stations. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Well, sir, we have not only run down the clock, we have run it over. We are running late, everybody. So I hope you had a good time tonight. I certainly did. And I'll see you on the radio tomorrow night with old Tricky Rick Sapphire. He's going to be here tomorrow night, and so will I. And I'm going to be disappointed if you're not here. So let's have a date, okay?